Hello and welcome. So let me talk something about our nervous system. As you know already about that, we have two types of nervous system. One is central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, I already talked about these things in details in my earlier videos. You can check those videos. And now our peripheral nervous system, which I kept few topics for our special video purpose. Now this peripheral nervous system has a special component known as motor division. This motor division has two parts. One is voluntary segment and involuntary segment. Voluntary segment is known as somatic nervous system, which I will talk about later, not now. And involuntary segment is known as autonomic nervous system, which I will talk about today. Okay. Now this autonomic nervous system again divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic component. Okay. Sympathetic component consists of preganglionic, postganglionic nerve fibers. Same to same, parasympathetic also consists of preganglionic and postganglionic nerve fibers. So you have to know about these pre and postganglionic fibers. What are these things? Before I explain these things, you have to understand again what is ganglia. Okay. So basically, as you can see in this photo you can see the unipolar neuron, bipolar neuron, multipolar, pseudopolar neuron. Now this multipolar neuron helps to form ganglion. Now as you can see in this photo, this is the basic structure of a neuron. Neuron means nerve cell. Okay. This is the body and this is the tail, and it's known as axon. This body in ganglion, it is also known as ganglionic body or somatic body, it doesn't matter. Body is body. Ganglion means a place or a relay station where other nerves also comes together and forms a network or a plexus. Let's understand, this is a neuron. Okay, suppose my hand is a neuron. This is the cell body, these are the dendrites. Okay, and this is the tail, which is known as axon. And at the end part of the tail, you are getting some nerve endings. Okay. Now, in this dendron, these are the dendrons. Suppose this one dendron of one neuron. Now, suppose there is another dendron of another neuron. Now, this dendron of first neuron is connecting with second neuron's one dendron. Okay, like this. Okay, you are getting one connection in between two neurons through their dendrons or dendrites. Okay, same to same, each dendron is connected with multiple adjacent neurons in one single place. As you can see in this photo, this place is known as ganglia. Suppose this is a ganglion, and in this ganglion, one nerve fiber's journey starts from the brainstem, brain or spinal cord. From there, one single nerve arises and it finishes in the ganglion. So that entire route or entire journey or the entire nerve is known as preganglionic nerve fiber. And after the ganglion, from this ganglion, one another nerve is also attached and it is going to the effector organ. So after the ganglion, the nerve fibers is arising. We call it postganglionic fibers. Okay. In our entire body, we have three major types of ganglia. One is dorsal root ganglia, second is cranial nerve ganglia, and third is autonomic ganglia. Now, one by one, as I said, we have dorsal root ganglion. As you can see in this photo, this is the spinal section. Transverse section of spinal cord. And in this section you can see the spinal cord has ventral root and dorsal root. Ventral means anterior, dorsal means posterior. At very short distance there is one ganglia, and from this ganglion a long nerve arises and it is going to the predestined organ. Okay, it is also known as posterior root ganglion. It is also known as spinal root ganglion. Okay, or spinal ganglion. Now the second part is our cranial nerve ganglions. See, in cranial nerve ganglions you are getting two components. One is parasympathetic, another is sympathetic. In parasympathetic component you are getting ciliary ganglion, ptericopellular ganglion, otic ganglion and submandibular ganglion. Okay, and in sympathetic component you are getting trigeminal, spiral, geniculate, vestibular ganglion. It is also known as Scarpa's ganglion. Then superior glossopharyngeal, inferior glossopharyngeal ganglions, superior vagus, inferior vagus ganglions. Okay. So these things also important, but you have to read textbooks to understand these things. If you don't understand in your textbooks, then comment down. I will explain in by making separate videos. Now the autonomic nervous system proper, as I said, it has two components. One is sympathetic and parasympathetic component. Sympathetic neurons arises from the lateral part of the, lateral horn of the spinal cord. It starts from the T1, first thoracic vertebra to the second or third lumbar vertebra. T1 to the L2 or L3 vertebra. Okay, these much extends of multiple ganglions, so we call it sympathetic chain. As you can see, this sympathetic chain, sympathetic ganglions are present very near to the spinal cord, so the preganglionic fibers are very, very short, and after the ganglion, those nerve fibers or neurons are arising and going to the destined organ. That should be longer. So the postganglion fibers in sympathetic ganglion are longer, and in parasympathetic component you can see that these parasympathetic ganglions are present near to the any viscera. That's why in that case, under parasympathetic component, preganglionic fibers are longer and postganglionic fibers are shorter. Simple. Okay, now in my earlier videos I told you that our central nervous system and peripheral nervous system both are controlled by the brain. Brain means our cerebrum and cerebellum. Now this autonomic nervous system is controlled by the hypothalamus. Anterior segment of hypothalamus controls the parasympathetic component, and posterior part of the hypothalamus controls the sympathetic component of autonomic nervous system. Now the function of this sympathetic and parasympathetic are: sympathetic nerve fibers increases body activity, any kind of dilation of pupil, secretions from any glands, increases anything like heartbeat, then sweat secretions. And parasympathetic component acts just opposite. Okay, it decreases everything. It decreases the it constricts the pupil, then it decreases the heart rate, and it also decreases any kind of secretions. Okay, now both of these functions are exceptional in peristalsis movement of our GI tract. Okay, sympathetic component decreases and parasympathetic component increases. Okay, sympathetic components consist of adrenergic fibers. The nerve ending consists of adrenaline. Now in this adrenaline it may have epinephrine, norepinephrine. Now these things we'll talk about later in physiology chapter, not here. And the parasympathetic component consists of cholinergic fibers. The nerve ending consists of acetylcholine, sometimes nicotine acetylcholine conjunctions or combination of nicotine acetylcholine receptors. Okay, so again these things we'll talk about later. See you soon. Till then, bye.